There are plenty of citizens, many in this room, othered, ignored, and canceled by big tech, the government, and yours truly, the Democrat-run media over there. This constant,
Parents have the right to instill their own values in their children, not government. It is a scientific fact that there are two human sexes, male or female. Leave this ideology out of the schools.
What the heck is a neutral classroom anyway? A classroom needs to be vibrant, challenging, and inspiring. Take away the great words of thinkers and writers, and you are sending empty vessels into the world.
I am an art teacher in the district, and my door is always open for students to come hang out, do art, chat with me, and relax in my classroom. My room is just another safe space for students to be themselves and build positive relationships with others, even beyond instruction time.
The lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, questioning, and non-binary kids are there. They have always been there, mostly hiding from brutal bullying, and they will not go away. Is it political to recognize the existence of a child? The flag takes nothing from any other kid. Nobody is asked to endorse another's identity, merely to refrain from taunting them. Research shows that nobody can learn when in a state of fear. Therefore, hanging a pride flag can be seen as a skillful pedagogical move. Policy 321 is deeply flawed. It demoralizes staff. It panders to the worst unfounded fears of the community. It is so vague as to constitute intimidation. It yet again kicks the real meaning down the road to the AR. It is, as you have said yourselves, based on your opinions rather than on research. It ties the hands and gags the mouths of your best teachers while giving no guidance to those who are still learning their craft.
From my own teaching experience in a science classroom, after discussing genetics, a student once asked if there was a genetic connection to Parkinson's disease because their grandfather had it. They went on to say that he was receiving stem cell treatment. The student asked, "What are stem cells and where do they come from?" Stem cells, however valuable and life-saving, have become political. It's related to curriculum, but might not directly be in the curriculum. Well, how and what to answer? Do we reduce teachers to saying, "I'm sorry, I can't answer that"? Or teachers, as you've said before, just want to teach, right? Not second guess themselves. But I guess that'll be covered in the professional development. The student might share information about the great garbage patch in the Pacific Ocean, and it blows their minds. Feel that knot, right? That teacher's got that knot in their stomach again. How to talk about this without discussing climate change? Will the students whose parents have turned them into spies go home and say the teacher was talking about climate change? Remember, this conversation might come up in any class, but it will only relate to curriculum and environmental science. Teachers just want to teach, not worry about spies and politics. I could go on and on. You have so little respect for teachers and what they do. You just think this policy will be so liberating and easy to implement, when in reality you're straitjacketing teachers and limiting the growth of students because only content related to curriculum can be discussed.
In the 21st century, in my classes at South, I had students on the spectrum, and they were acknowledged by staff and students as complete people, just a variant of what people call the norm. There were books in our libraries about people with autism, and none of these books had neon signs on them requiring that everyone read them. If a student needed it or wanted it, it was there. If my daughter had had these advantages in school, she would have been spared a painful adolescence. In the same way, any child who is a variation on the typical deserves to see himself, herself, themselves in books, and respected by adults who are part of their growth. Students in the LGBTQIA+ community need encouragement and validation of identity. They need to see themselves in books, just as my autistic daughter needed to see herself and know she had a right to live.
A speaker mentioned schools should be teaching science. Oh, good, we do. Between hands-on labs and experiments, exploration videos, textbook work, and even an opt-in to participate in science fairs, science is most definitely happening on our campuses. Many say schools should be teaching reading, writing, and math. Yep, we do that too. I know. I see the homework that comes back with my daughters. I see the teachers tirelessly planning the lessons. I do the curriculum integration in my art program. The same man that suggested schools teach science, which we do, also said schools, and I quote, should be teaching respect of others, loving each other, and caring for each other. Yes, totally agree. And guess what? Teachers already do that too. So glad we're on the same page. And guess how we all do that? By making all children feel included, being true to who they are, and honoring their feelings.
Recent actions of this school board remind me of the great books I read with my beautiful students. Atticus saying to Scout and To Kill a Mockingbird, you never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around of it. More and more actions of this district make Arthur Miller's The Crucible come to light. Central Bucks seems like a version of colonial Salem, where its lies lead to fear, corruption, and destruction of the innocent. I can hear John Proctor declaring that instead of common sense, common vengeance writes the law. Last, consider these words from a great play I taught in 9th grade. It is also a line from the Bible. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind. And you kids who are fighting for everything, don't forget what is the last line of Gatsby. So we beat on boats against the current, you continue to row.